Hair loss. It's a topic that's deeply personal and frustrating for millions around the world. Whether it's a receding hairline, thinning strands, or patchy bald spots, the struggle is real. And amidst the countless products, treatments, and home remedies promising miracles, one name keeps cropping up: rosemary oil. But how much of this is fact, and how much is fiction? In today's video, we'll unravel the truth behind rosemary oil. Is it truly a scientific marvel, or just another overhyped trend? More importantly, I'll teach you how to critically evaluate health claims and avoid falling for bad science. Before we dive into rosemary oil, let's first understand the basics of hair growth. Your hair grows in cycles, with each follicle cycling through. 1. Anagen phase, the active growth phase. 2nd, catagen phase, a transitional phase where growth slows. 3rd, telogen phase, the resting phase. 4, exogen phase, when hair is shed. Hair loss happens when this cycle is disrupted. Here are the most common culprits: androgenetic alopecia, pattern baldness, the most common type driven by genetics and hormones. Stress-induced hair loss, often reversible but distressing. Medical conditions. Conditions like alopecia areata or thyroid disorders. Poor nutrition and lifestyle. Lack of essential nutrients like biotin, zinc, and iron can weaken hair. There's something undeniably appealing about natural remedies. They feel safe, accessible, and often promise results without the scary side effects of chemicals. Among these remedies, rosemary oil stands out. Did you know that rosemary has been used for centuries? In ancient Greece, people believed it could improve memory and health. In medieval Europe, it was thought to ward off evil spirits. But when it comes to hair loss, the claims are more recent. A quick search shows thousands of posts, blogs, and videos praising rosemary oil as a natural solution. But how much of this is backed by science? Let's start with the most popular study cited by rosemary oil advocates. Published in 2015, it compared rosemary oil with 2% minoxidil over 6 months. Here's what they found. Both groups showed improvement in hair count. The rosemary oil group experienced fewer side effects like itching. At first glance, it seems promising. But when we dig deeper, several issues arise. 1. Statistical anomalies. At 3 months, the hair counts were identical for both groups, statistically improbable. 2. Short duration. Hair growth is a slow process, and 6 months may not capture long-term effects. 3. Lack of transparency. The full methodology and raw data weren't shared, making replication impossible. This highlights a bigger problem. Many studies in niche areas like beauty aren't scrutinized enough. Peer review isn't foolproof, and flaws often slip through the cracks. Rosemary oil's proposed mechanisms for promoting hair growth include increasing blood flow. Improved circulation could nourish hair follicles. Reducing inflammation. Antioxidants in rosemary oil may combat inflammation linked to hair loss. Blocking DHT. Some claim it inhibits the enzyme that converts testosterone to DHT, a key factor in androgenetic alopecia. Most of this evidence comes from lab studies, not clinical trials. For example, the enzyme blocking effect was observed in test tubes, not on human scalps. And as any scientist will tell you, lab results don't always translate to real-world outcomes. Story 1. Sarah's journey. Sarah, a 34-year-old teacher, tried rosemary oil after reading glowing reviews. She massaged it into her scalp daily for 6 months. While she noticed some improvement, it coincided with lifestyle changes like reducing stress and improving her diet. Was it the oil or the holistic approach? Story 2. Ancient remedies versus modern science. In medieval times, rosemary was burned in sick rooms to purify the air. While this speaks to its cultural significance, it's not exactly hard science. Comparing ancient beliefs to modern clinical evidence highlights how far we've come and why we need robust research today. Here are some tips to critically assess studies. 1. Small sample sizes. Studies with fewer participants are less reliable. 2. Short durations. Hair growth takes time. Studies should last at least a year. 3. Funding sources. Industry-funded studies may have a bias. Take this rosemary oil product. Its claims are based on a single flawed study. Always look for multiple high-quality studies before trusting a claim. Should you try rosemary oil? If you're curious, here's how to use it safely. 1. Dilute it with a carrier oil to prevent irritation. 2. Apply consistently but manage your expectations. Proven alternatives. For better results, consider treatments like minoxidil, FDA approved and effective. Finasteride, blocks. DHT for androgenetic alopecia. Low-level laser therapy, non-invasive and supported by studies. Rosemary oil might not be the miracle cure it's hyped up to be, but that doesn't mean it's useless. The key takeaway? Be skeptical, read beyond the headlines, and consult experts. With so much misinformation out there, critical thinking is your best tool. If you enjoyed this deep dive video, check out my other videos on hair care science. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting content.